Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. Happy Friday. How are things? Things are good over here. Good morning, Kat. Happy Friday. Happy you get to leave work early day. I hope things are good. Just rearranging my floss box footstools. Here we go. Just 2 more hours, then you get to nap. Yeah, you need a nap. I'm a big proponent of napping if you can. Yeah, did you not sleep very well last night? Happy Friday. Hi, Jess. Hi, Aurora. How are things? We get to move on to a new color today, which is very exciting. So we're now on color number 8, which is this wonderful orange looking color. I've got my tea, I've got my snacks. Went to the chiropractor today, so I've gotten adjusted. Still doesn't stop my muscle tension in my shoulders, because that's a muscular thing, not a skeletal thing, but you know, baby steps, work in progress. All right, let's get sorted and settled. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. The sun has decided to come out, which is nice. It was very overcast and gloomy earlier, but the only thing is that it's getting nicer out, but it's like very humid, so it's sort of like a sticky warm right now, which is sub-ideal, but now the sun is out, so I can only, you know, I can't complain, you know what I mean? I complain about all the other kind of weather, so I should be grateful that, you know, it's not raining and cloudy today. But yeah. Excellent, excellent. It's good because Liam's out golfing today, and it looks like it's a nice day for it. So, that's good. Hi, baby. Oh, have you got your peanut butter jar? Liam and I left at separate times. Like, I left a little bit before he did. And so the plastic peanut butter jars that we have, we cut them in half and give Shadow the leftover bits as like a snack when we're away. And so there's no more peanut butter in there, but he decided to bring it up with him. Hey? Did you bring up the peanut butters? But it's all empty. There's no more. You gonna relax and hang out? What? You look shell-shocked, baby boy. What's up? Hey, what's up? Yeah, it is his toy now. It's true. It's true. Here you go. You gonna relax? Have a rest? Good boy. Yeah, good boy. All right. Now the pooch is settled, we can get down to business. Oh, so you know how I said that the poster boards are ready, but Liam managed to pick them up before he went to golf, so I've not seen them yet, but I will get to unveil them next week. I'm really excited to see our welcome posters for our reception, which is cool. But yeah, that's all done, which is nice. Another tick off the list. Next week, I'm going to be going shopping with my mother-in-law to pick up, like, toiletry, like, complimentary toiletries and, like, little bits for all the kiddos, which I'm really excited about. And then it'll be May, guys. Like, it's going to be May. Next time we see each other, it'll be May, which is wild. It's kind of already felt like May to me for the last, like, week. I think because my brain's already, like, thinking about May. So I've kind of... Like, this last week in April doesn't even seem real. It's gonna be May. Yeah. It's gonna be May. And it's also gonna be May the 4th. Which is, you know, Star Wars Day. For those who celebrate. I think May the 4th is actually gonna be... Yeah, it's gonna be on a Thursday. So we'll get to celebrate Star Wars Day together, guys. Probably still needle punching. But this kind of looks like a metal lightsaber, maybe if you suspend your imagination. So, you know, like sort of kind of relevant. Like sort of adjacent relevancy. Not 100%, but. Okay, so this orange is more little accent pieces and filling in this bud here. So we'll do that. I'm convinced, I'm pretty sure the center of these flowers is meant to have a bit of brown in it, even though it has not been indicated on the sheet. It just shows that there is a little circle, but the little bit on the box, that looks like a brown. Does it not? I don't know. I can't really tell. But that's like the darkest color we have. So we might have to go back in with our brown once we do this orange bit, just to make sure. My birthday's Monday. No way. It's gonna be my birthday. It's gonna be my birthday. I don't know if that's, I'm not sure. Kind of. It kind of worked. Definitely in the JT accent. It's gonna be my birthday. I love it. That's so exciting. Do you have any plans? Do the boys have any plans for you? Is it going to be leave mommy alone spa day on your birthday? Or no? Okay, let's start filling this in. It's actually my friend. It's my friend's birthday on the Sunday. It's the last day of April. I have to remember to order flowers for her. Remind me to remind you to remind me. Oh, there's a surprise on Saturday. Wowie wow. Ooh, very nice. How do you do with surprises as fellow anxious person? You know, how are surprises for you? I feel like I need a lot of... Oh no, I ruined it by guessing it myself, but he doesn't know that. My mom ruined it by confirming my suspicions. That's so funny. You just gotta act surprised. Because I feel like I don't mind surprises with explicit conditions. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain... I don't have to know the activity, but I need to know if food will be provided and what sort of attire I need to wear. You know what I mean? Like, I need to have a little bit of information so I'm not completely going into this blind and unprepared. You know what I mean? Like, do I need to bring my own snacks or will snacks be provided? That's sort of the main thing. I'm always like, how will I be fed and will I be comfortable? You know what I mean? I've never really had one. My mom's, yeah. My mom's a type of very communicative. That's very good. I guess as well, too, because I'm sure your mom would be like, listen, Tyler, you need to not. You know what I mean? Or to be like, oh, no, this is totally fine. But I guess, too, you guys have been together for so long that you would hope that he would sort of know what your limits are. She's going to want to go, what to wear and how. Yes. Yes. Truly. Yeah. I want to know if I'm going to be fed, I need to bring snacks, and if I'm going to be comfortable. You would hope. Yeah. Right? I'm sure it'll be good. Because also, too, if your son is going as well, if he's going to be involved, then it obviously has to be a certain level of child-friendly, so it can't be too crazy, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going bungee jumping or skydiving because the baby is there, you know? Like, so it depends if this is a baby-free thing. I feel like that opens up the possibilities for more anxiety, but like, if the whole family, then it can only be so, it's a concert with chairs. That's so funny. I like that. I like that. So I'm gonna slumber party with Grams. I love that. I would also like to know those things. Exactly. Yeah, will I be comfortable and will I be fed? Those are the two main concerns for me anytime I leave the house. That's why I always have an emergency granola bar in my bags. See, I think that's good, because I'm not a fan. Like, I know some people because they like the moshing experience and whatever, but I want to be able to have a seat at any and all concerts I go to. Even when I was younger, I would like the option to sit down at points, you know? I'm not a fan of standing room only concert experiences. I'm like, or at least I need somewhere to lean, you know, like if there's like a guardrail or something like that. Like, I don't need to be in on the action. I need a place to not, because usually too, concert venues are concrete, and so they're really hard on your feet afterwards if you're like standing for that long. Hi, Ray. Good morning. Same. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, and I don't want to, just like I don't run for shit. I don't, like, yeah. I was going to say I don't stand for shit, but I do. But yeah, not for a 2-hour concert. I would like time. I would like sit down, please. I don't know. I guess as well too, because like maybe back in the day, or maybe like, because I feel like concerts now, depending on, obviously if it's like a small concert, it's different, but the like jumbotrons and stuff at concerts are of such a high quality now. And I know like there is some appeal of being like so close to the action and so into like getting to almost like touch the audience or touch the performer and stuff like that, like maybe. But that's never appealed to me at all. So I would rather be a bit further away. Still being able to see the stage. I don't want to be like in the nosebleeds. But I feel like, you know, I can watch you on the Jumbotron and be excited and enjoy it and not have to stand. Your daughter likes the flowers? Excellent! Yeah, hopefully we're going to fill some more of them in today. My plan this evening / tomorrow, depending on if I get my shit together, is to paint my nails based on the color palette of this thing, because I'm pretty sure I have this teal and this kind of magenta color, and I have like a brown and a periwinkle and stuff like that. So I think I'm going to do like a Skittle manicure where each hand, like nail on one hand is all a different color, and then just mimic it on the other side. So you've just filed down with the intent to paint at some point. Yeah, I did that last night. I took my old nail polish off and filed down my nails because we're meant to be installing or putting together a shed for my in-laws this weekend. And so I wanted my nails to be shorter to like not, so that I wouldn't like get nervous about breaking them while I'm like lifting and putting together shed walls, I guess. And so, yeah, I made sure, because they were already getting a little bit long. It pisses me off when my nails get so long that when I'm, like, texting, I always end up accidentally pressing the letter beside the letter I want to press. And so I'm like, no, these nails are too long. Like, I'm obviously, like, my depth perception for typing is off because of the length of the nails. We need to sort them out. Yeah, my nails can't be too long or they touch the keys on the keyboard. Oh, yeah, you're not a fan of the tippy-tappies? You can't do the tippy-tappies. Some people love that. That's almost like an ASMR therapeutic thing for them. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan either for myself. I used to do acrylics back in the day. Wow, really? Yeah. They always look so pretty. Like, obviously we see like Nungdae gets acrylics and stuff, and they always look gorgeous, and that's when you can get like the really cool intricate artwork and stuff on them. But not for me, man. I don't think I've ever done acrylics. But yeah, it was funny because I was thinking about it because we're going to, yeah, so basically the plan is to put together this shed, and we were talking to my mother-in-law about it, and she's away for the weekend, and I guess my father-in-law, I don't know how he is now, but at the time we were talking a couple days ago, he had pulled his shoulder, so I don't know how up he is to installing shed walls. But I think even if he is injured, he will want to try to help because he feels bad when he does, like, when he's unable to, and then he overdoes it and hurts himself more, which isn't good. But so she was like, oh, maybe you can get, like, so-and-so to help you, like, my brother-in-law and stuff. And I was thinking about it because it was a group chat with her, like, with my mother-in-law and Liam. And then afterwards, I kind of went downstairs and spoke to Liam, and I was like, well, I can help you. Because I was like, oh, do you want to call your other brother over? And he was like, we can do it. And I was like, okay, cool. I assumed, because I love putting together IKEA furniture. Like, I love doing that. And I'm like, this is basically just like IKEA, but for outside. So I'm like, I could totally do that. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. Because I like putting furniture together and stuff. I get enjoyment out of it. Except when there's missing pieces and then the instructions are, like, not very helpful, because then I get really annoyed. But for the most part, I'd say, like, you know, 95% of my, you know, building of furniture via IKEA type instructions has been successful. My sister does get them. She hasn't seen her actual nails since the 90s. Wow. I'm sure her nails probably don't even really exist anymore. Like, I know there has to be something for the acrylics to sort of sit on, but I'm sure they're, like, paper thin, isn't it? Because they need to kind of be filed down and stuff. I know people will do, like, the gel where it's more of a fill based as opposed to, I don't know what the different types of fills and things are. I'm sure they're just wispy pieces. Yeah. Just like a hoop of a nail. I feel like that's one of those things where it's almost like by design that if you have acrylic nails all the time, for you to go back to your natural nails, that it would take a long time for them to sort of build up their sort of strength and endurance again. I assume. I'm not sure, like, what the turnaround time for that would be if you had, like, just for years and years done acrylics, you know? I think this is also, yeah. Okay. So from my understanding, it's the orange that is like the main player in this piece here. And these are all actually kind of like little slits. And they got quite chunky towards the end. So I think by putting the orange over top of it, that'll be how we do to like get the thickness up on the orange and the thinness down in the yellow portions, I think. I think I would do the powder gel stuff. Yeah, like you did. Yeah, I've seen those. They look really interesting. Especially when they, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that when they grind your nail down, it kind of reminds me, it feels very similar to when people get crowns. Though I'm pretty sure they're like, I don't know, all the like Instagram girlies and stuff were calling them veneers, but I'm pretty sure veneers don't require you to grind your teeth down to little pegs. But I think a lot of these like Instagram girlies ended up getting veneers, but they were actually crowns all through their mouth. So when their crown breaks or their veneer breaks, all that's left is like a little nub, which I think is actually not how veneers are meant to work, I think. In Canada, we set regulation in aesthetics. Yeah, so in there. In Canada, we sent, yeah, right, So anyone and their mother can do these. Really? Yeah. I'm like, if they're chatting, they're obviously not banned. I'm intrigued to see if they type again. Because obviously I've not banned you because you're able to chat in the chat. But if you chat again, then I might have to ban you for being a nuisance. I don't know. But yeah. That's annoying. So is that like estheticians or like for nails and stuff, is that not regulated in Canada? Or they're like not up to snuff in terms of them? When they advertise solar gel, it's a powder and a liquid, but it's still acrylic. Dental. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's one of those things that I feel like it's like once you get into the nitty-gritty science of it all, I'm sure there's like different chemical compounds that are probably much safer. But whether or not they're being like marketed as like the new in product. You don't do nails, do you, Jess? Yeah, no licensing, so we can't be held accountable for management of the things. That's wild. Because I know you work at a spa, but I wasn't sure what services within the spa you provided. I do. I don't want to, but I do. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. You're like, I would like to not do nails. Because I'm sure the OCD of having to touch people's probably really dirty hands is probably not a nice feeling for you. Thank you. It's a needle. It's like a paint by numbers, but instead of using paint, we're using wool, which is quite fun. Kind of looking, I don't know, it looks a lot jankier than it does on the picture, but maybe we can fix it. I'm not sure. Oh man, hands are so dirty. Yeah, I feel like they probably could be not good. Because I'm sure now, but now that, like, because obviously, like, post-pandemic. Is it really your specialty? Yeah. Them feets, I'm sure. I always feel bad. It's so funny because and I don't know if this is just a bad approach, because I know sometimes, like, when I've been for massages or been to things, and I guess it's not too bad. Like, I don't think I'm an uncleanly person, but for instance, like, you know, feminine beauty standards of, like, having your legs shaved and stuff like that. I'm always, like, I don't know, I used to be really self-conscious of, like, oh, before I go get a pedicure or go get a massage or whatever, like, I should make sure that I've, like, I don't know, shaved or whatever, like, upheld feminine beauty standards or whatever. And so, but then I got to a point where I was like, okay, no, just, like, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of like, okay, but there's men who get massages and pedicures, and they could all be very, very hairy, and that's not a problem, so I think it should be fine. For me, it's only my own, like, insecurity about that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Facials, my grimy oh no. Oh, you don't have grimy granny hands. Your grimy granny feet hands. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. I'm like, there's no point. Oh, no way. That's interesting. It's better not shave before pedicures. Oh, okay. I guess, to be fair, that kind of makes sense, because if you're using, like, different, for, like, skin irritation, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. That was one of the things that they had mentioned when Liam and I went to one of those, what is it? The sensory deprivation tanks, because they're filled with a bunch of salt water. And in their little sort of, like, PSA video before you go, they're like, don't bother shaving. Because then, like, the salt water would irritate that. And I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But, it's one of those things that you just think that, oh, you're going to, like, I don't know. It's this weird thing where you have to, like, reject societal beauty standards for your own comfort. But I guess that's maybe where that thing beauty is pain comes from. Because it's kind of like, Yeah, you're gonna try to uphold beauty standards and then get like salt scrubs scrubbed on your recently shaved legs and be in burny, uncomfortable pain. Yeah, I mean, scrubbing feet, then going, oh, ooh, yeah, that's true. But you wear gloves. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure your mental brain is kind of like, this is really weird, though, if they're doing scrubs. Right, yeah, that makes sense as well. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, definitely. You're like, you'd rather not have little tiny cuts all over yourself for potential bacterias and things to get into. What the hell have I done here? I'm not entirely sure, but it's fine. I think I curved it when I didn't need to, so I'm gonna go back in and pretend like that didn't happen. I think this will be the first one where you actually have to go back in with the original color just to like get this shit back in order. I don't know. I'm not happy about it, but we'll try to make it better. I know it doesn't particularly matter, but it matters to me. We're gonna try to make the orange more pronounced than the yellow. We're going to make an attempt. Maybe. Sort of, kind of. Hi, Dash. Good afternoon, sir. Happy Friday. How you doing? How are things? We are attempting to get further orange coverage of this flower bud. It's too early to tell in my brain if we are being successful in that endeavor or not. But we're trying, and that's all we can ask of ourselves. Okay. Okay. Yeah, gearing up to glue petals. Excellent. As you don't know, Dej makes really cool origami flowers. Love it. It's good. We're gonna craft together then. I love a good co-crafting stream session. Okay. Let's get, okay. I feel like maybe we are achieving success. Obviously there then becomes a concern that then it's crafting buddies. Exactly. I love it. Nothing makes me happier than to be crafting buddies with all of you. Brings me such joy. Okay. I think we need to fix this bottom section here. It's meant to be more like stripey, and this is giving a curve that we don't want. But I'm thinking if I fix it on this end here, and then we can layer over some yellow and fix. Why is there a brown thread in there? Get out of there. Something like that, maybe. And then if we fill in the corner here, and then I think maybe that will hopefully solve this problem. Which I know probably isn't even a real problem. It's just a self-identified concern because it looks too different from the reference image. But I know that art doesn't need to mimic. It can look different and still be good. But still. Like, I know I've talked about the need to combat my perfectionism, but I still want this to look more like the photo. I still would like that. So now we have to go back in with the yellow and fix this. The only thing too is because we're stabbing so much into the corners, it's like, I don't know, it's denting in a lot and it's looking, I don't know, it's sinking in a lot more compared to the other flowers. But we obviously haven't filled the other flowers in yet, so maybe we will then encounter the same problem later on. And I am comparing apples to oranges currently. Like I'd mentioned, I had a chiropractor appointment today, but I was running a bit late because I ended up leaving the house a little bit later than I had planned to. And so I was like power walking to the chiropractor in the humid weather. So I was getting a little bit moist by the time I got there, but it was really funny. I was walking down this hill and this guy was walking his little like miniature poodle. This black miniature poodle looked like a little baby. And I don't know, I don't think I've met this dog before, but it looked at me and I sort of like looked at it. I didn't really say anything, but I kind of like smiled at the dog, and then the dog came rushing over to me. The guy had like an extended lead. And so the dog like came barreling towards me and like popped up like onto my leg and was just so giddy and happy to see me. And so the guy was like, oh yeah, like she's clocked you sort of thing. And I was like, oh my God, hello little baby, how are you? Yes, okay, I need to go, okay, bye. So I made sure to give her like kind of really quick snuggles, but I was like, I'm late for my appointment. I want to just stay and snuggle with this dog, but I can't. Damn responsibilities. I'm like, I want to just come and hang out with you, but I can't. I'm really sorry, little doggy. I will see you later. Okay, so this one actually But yeah, so I hope I see the dog again. Right? Honestly, it felt so validating when like a random dog just like comes over to you and is like butt wagging, just so excited to see you. I'm just like, oh my God, really? You chose me? Thank you so much. Thank you for this random choosing. It's true. It just makes you just feel so like, I don't know, man. Nothing feels better than when a dog is like super excited to see you or meet you for the first time. I'm like, it's amazing. Okay, this is looking a little bit better. I'm a bit happier with the circumstances now. Now I guess this is a little bit too thick again, but the color breakdown, like the direction of everything, is much better, in my opinion. Oh, the chiropractor also validated my suspicions that the natural raw, like the local raw honey was doing wonders for my hay fever symptoms. So he's like, you really got to get back on the honey. And I was like, okay, Mr. Chiro Doctor, sir. I have to go find some. I know there's a market happening this weekend that's like a 10-minute drive from us. So I might have to, I assume, it's annoying because I was trying to find the company that we had gotten it from originally, but they don't really have any like social media presence. I think they just hop around to all of these like market tours and whatever. So I gotta find them. I gotta hunt them down. I need to hunt down the honey boys and secure my bag. Probably buy more than one jar. I think that's, you know, I do, like, I respect, obviously, that, you know, local honey is much more expensive than just, like, regular honey, but if it's gonna stop the shitty hay fever symptoms, I think it's worth it. So, probably get some, too. Yeah, definitely. And who knows, if I procure some and my hay fever symptoms still persist, maybe it was a placebo effect, but I feel like since we've run out, it's like, my sinuses have been having a bad time. Okay. Now this one seems a little bit, like these ones are now a bit too thick. So these ones are kind of like, this one here is a bit too thick, but these guys are now too thin. I don't know, man. I know it's not going to be exactly like it, and I do just need to like accept that. But I'd like things, I don't know. I guess it'll be fine. I just want them to look a little bit more proportioned in my brain. Okay. This part now could be perhaps. Okay, now it's getting a bit... Now the floofs are commingling. And we need to get a bit more color separation here. I guess I could just put more orange on top, but I feel like... It's not like we don't have tons of fluff that we can do this with, but I don't want it to be like overkill. Oh, the sun has gone away again. Back to overcast, baby. To be fair, I feel like overcast is probably nicer for golfing in because you don't have like sun directly in your eye. I would assume that is the preferable. Perhaps. Okay. Add a little bit more of the yellow here, add a little bit more of the orange there, and then we can move on to the rest of the orange pieces. Okay. Add a little bit more of this guy just over top of these sections here. Did you hear that? Just the most audible sound. It wasn't even a yawn. Yeah, what the hell was that, bud? Yeah. Sleepy boy. Oh, he might go belly up soon. What are you doing? Oh, big sigh. Your life is so tough. Just the toughest. I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, that was a new one. Because every once in a while, like, you'll hear him, like, dreaming and stuff. But that was like a full-on, like, audible yawn sound. So silly. I've been watching a lot of like YouTubers and streamers and like with animal content and stuff, and they speak in like the most aggressive baby voices about animals. Like, you're just a little baby. And part of me has started doing that a little bit with Shadow, and I'm like, am I just becoming incredibly cringe? So I'm trying, like, obviously I call him a little baby and stuff like that, but I would like to not completely descend into like aggressive baby talk, you know what I mean? But who knows, maybe I'm already there, I'm not sure. I would like to think I'm not, but hi, good morning, patates. Get your coffee. This isn't coffee, this is green tea, but you know, I know what in your cup it should be coffee. Happy Friday. I hope you're doing well. We are stabbing. Am I ready to move on from this, or am I going to keep just stabbing into the same section for a million years. I'm gonna do a little bit more orange. That's amazing! Yay! Oh, I love that. I love a good cheers. Go, do it again. Cheers, friends. Bink! I love that. I love a good cheers. Okay. Let's add a little bit more here. And then, famous last words, maybe it's not going to happen. We'll move on. We will try. Oh, it was really funny today. I found out, so Liam's dad told us about this show. I think it's called Race Around the World. It's on the BBC, and it's sort of like The Amazing Race, but no, it's like also completely different. So The Amazing Race, I don't know if you guys have watched The Amazing Race, where it's a bunch of couples, and then, or like, you know, groups of two. They could be, you know, family related, friends, like marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. Friends, brothers, and then they race around different locations, and there's challenges, right? And there's challenges and different meetup points and things like that, and you have to solve like basically puzzles, and some of them are mind puzzles, some of them are more physical challenge puzzles. Whereas this one, it's called Race Across the World, and there's no like challenges, but basically what it is, and I'm not sure how I feel about the concept, is you end up landing somewhere, and you have to hand over your phone and your wallet and your like cards, like you basically all your ties to people and stuff, and you get a map and a GPS and like a list of places that you need to go, and I guess there's certain people that have signed up in different stops along the way that you can then, and you get like a limited budget of cash, which basically it seemed like it accounted to like £50 a day or whatever, which isn't a lot if you're trying to travel across the country. So there's these little like spots where you can then pick up odd jobs to earn extra cash or earn things, and then you also, because you're only surviving on like kind of £50 a day, that then makes transportation difficult as well. So then they're encouraging you to go up and like ask strangers for ride shares and stuff like that, which that already, no, not for me. But the reason that his dad told us about this is because this year the show is taking place in Canada. And so we're like, oh, that's really cool. Like that would be really interesting. And so I looked up the route that these couples are meant to be taking, and they're starting in Vancouver and they're ending up in Newfoundland, and they're going up to the territories and they're doing this thing. But at one point, one of their destinations, their pit stops, is Manitoulin Island, which is an island that is like a summer, like if you bought like a camp, if you have like a camp or a cottage property from my hometown, that's one of the places where you have it. So I had a bunch of friends growing up, still like a bunch of my friends have camps on Manitoulin Island. So I was saying to Liam, I was exclaiming about this. I was like, I wonder if they travel through Sudbury. Like that would be wild if like these 8 random British couples end up traveling through this like crater of a town on this international adventure. And it turns out, so another friend of mine, like a girl I went to university with, who actually lives in the UK as well, she posted on Instagram today that they 100% passed through Sudbury. So we're gonna have, I don't think the show was kind of cringy. Yeah, exactly, they have to go through Espanola. Yeah, I wonder if it still stinks. So Espanola, guys, I don't know if you know, well, you wouldn't know, but basically there's a giant paper mill there. And so the like paper pulp creation I don't know how or why, but it has this absolute stench. So you used to know that you were coming close to driving through Espanola because it would stink. Because you would drive past the paper plant. Oh, you know. Of course you do. You still around, so it still stinks. But yeah, so you could tell you were approaching Espanola because it would start to smell. So, yeah. Okay, so this is a common thing. There was a town we used to drive past with the paper mill as kids, and we called it the Stinky Factory. We have a paper mill near us. That's true. I passed through during my first trimester, and it was hell. No, that sounds terrible. That would be the worst. Oh, first trimester driving through stinky rotten egg territory. Yeah, because they're going to have to, especially if they're going through Sudbury. I think they would have to go through Espanola to get to Manitoulin Island. But yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, so I was like, oh shit. So, I don't know, because we watched the first episode, and I was kind of like, I think I don't like reality TV. Because I don't like the sort of artificially created drama and the way they edit it to seem like there's like beef even though there isn't and stuff like that. And so, I don't know, I found it kind of cringy to watch, even though it was cool to see these different places. So I don't know if Liam and I can sit through watching the entire series, but I think we need to find the episode where they get to Manitoulin Island so I can just watch and I can point out all of these, like, locations and stuff. I was wondered how people live in that city. Yeah, someone told me they just get used to it. Yeah, I feel like there was a girl that went to our elementary school who moved from Espanola, and she talked about that, and we were like, I don't understand. You found out you had COVID for real because I couldn't smell the factory? No. I guess that's one way to do it. That's one way to test, truly, is to drive past a paper mill, and that's how you know. That is absolutely how you know. Okay. I think I'm happy with this. I think we are ready to move on. But yeah. Part of me was thinking too, though this would like completely get demonetized, but I think it's on BBC iPlayer, so I was wondering if it would be a fun thing to like watch and go through the episode, and then I could like point shit out to you guys. The only reason I'm willing to do this is because there's literally nobody in my immediate family that lives anywhere near my hometown anymore. And I'm like, you can try to find my friends, but like my friends are very private people, so I don't think it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So maybe we'll do that. I don't know if the episode is already aired, but I hate reality. Yeah, I don't know. And to be fair, because I never, aside from Say Yes to the Dress and all of the stank faces, but I wonder now if I could even watch Say Yes to the Dress and be like, I feel like secondhand cringe embarrassment. You know what I mean? There was a dog food factory city over from where my mom grew up, and she said if the wind blew right, everyone in the house, no. Ooh, that sounds rough. H-U, or not H-U, R-U-F-F rough. Hey! But that's rank. That's like, to be fair, I remember when my family, we drove from my hometown to Alberta, and we drove through like the farmland prairies, and I think we were stopped at like a McDonald's or something like that, or it was like a truck stop in like the middle of nowhere. There was like the road, and then just fields everywhere, and then this random sort of like truck stop. I think I might have been a McDonald's or whatever, and it was really sunny out, or I don't know if it was drive-through only, whatever. So we parked up, got our food, and like hung around outside, but it was windy that day, and all you could smell were cow patties just wafting through trying to eat your lunch, and you're like, all I smell is cow poop, guys. This is not an appetizing lunch break. But yeah, let's see if it's aired. Oh, it must have, because my friend was talking about it. Race across the world. Yeah, season 3. Yeah, I'm in Des Moines. I manage Villain Island. Interesting. So episode 5, I guess? So maybe. Yeah, maybe we can do that. Maybe we can watch it together. That would be interesting. Okay, what are we working on? What are we doing? These little guys. Do. Yeah, I'm trying to think, because how many... So next Tuesday I have an appointment, so there won't be stream. But then there's Thursday, Friday. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there's 8 more streams before my parents show up. So yeah, we could definitely do that at some point. Cool. I still want to do another baking stream as well. I'll probably do the baking stream closer to like near the time that they show up, because then I'll actually have like a baked treat to share with them. But yeah. So that'll be cool, because then I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks we'll be able, like the next, I don't know, week of streams, week and a half of streams, we can finish this. And then we still have 2 more craft kits to work on before we go back to our regularly scheduled programming. But to be fair, I don't even know what that is anymore. We do all sorts of things here now, so. Oh my god, my CNL boss is at home and is not supposed to be working, but she is. No! Oh my god. Why is she doing that? Why is she like off ill and she's like a workaholic and can't not just be ill? That's so annoying. But yeah, they better not like shoot the messenger, you know what I mean? Like if they're calling you to bitch and complain, you can be like, listen, you don't want to throw your boss under the bus, but also, like, you're like, my boss doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. I know what's going on. Don't worry about it. She wants to feel useful, but has had a concussion. So, yeah. She's also pushing 80. No. Lady, you, like, I don't know. I get, like, this sounds really shitty, but, like, it's such a foreign concept to me to be so invested in your work, like in work, to the point where you're just like, I clearly need to retire and do not need to do this anymore. But I guess it's like if you have literally nothing else going on in your life and you're completely tied to your work, it can be really difficult to let go. But I'm like, I don't know, man, like find a hobby. Like there's so many hobbies. There's so many things you could do to occupy your time. Find shows to watch. Like, take up knitting. I don't know. Read books. Do things. She's the owner, but does she not have, like, a successor? You know what I mean? Because isn't it a family-run business, so there's other members of the family who can, like, sort it out? I don't know, man. Yeah, right? Truly. It's like, why? It's so interesting because I was really concerned. Like, my parents were really concerned. Or my mom was really concerned when my dad was set to retire. That we were like, oh no. Like, because my dad was such a workaholic our entire lives. We're like, oh no, he's gonna, like, need hobbies. Like, he's gonna know, like, oh my god, he's not gonna know what to do with himself. Like, what's going on? But since he's been retired, he's like, yeah, whatever. Roll out of bed around like 9, get ready at 10, enjoy my coffee, watch my shows, do all these things. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I doubt she knows what Twitch is, so. Yeah, could you imagine this little biddy comes and finds out that you're, like, talking smack about her? No one here knows what Twitch is. Okay, you're safe. You're safe. Her daughter would be her successor, but she hates it here, I think. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah. It's true. Chris can't get his big boy job soon enough. I'm like, train faster, Chris. But yeah, no, don't. Because it happened the other day. I feel like there's so many things I want to do. Exactly. I think that's what it is. Because I think the reason why my dad was such a workaholic is because he had really bad ADD. And he couldn't focus at work during the day when all the other staff members were around. But he had, like... Yeah, exactly. Well, Zoolander's my mom's favorite. My dad's probably watching some random sci-fi stuff. You know what he does, though? He actually watches a lot of the, like random, like, any just random fantasy shows he finds, like, on Netflix. So it was funny, because I remember me and my brother were collectively slagging off when they did a live-action version of the Winx Club. Because we were like, obviously, this is not the Winx Club. We didn't even watch it. We were like, this is some bullshit. And it got canceled after 2 seasons, rightfully so. But my dad watched it, because my dad didn't know anything about the cartoon Winx Club. And he was like, oh, whatever, this is, like, a cool sci-fi looking fantasy show. Like, whatever, I'll watch it. And he was like, it wasn't bad. And I was like, yeah, I'm sure it wasn't bad, but because they decided to capitalize on Winx Club stuff, they should have just made a cool fantasy show that wasn't that. And then I'm sure it would have been fine. You know what I mean? What did you think of it? Yeah, it was okay. Yeah. That'd be great. Honestly, same. Yeah, being a retired person just sounds like an incredible deal. I mean, you can go back to my computer logs if they really wanted to, as long as my work is... Exactly! The lady sister used to spy on us all the time, and I never watched Twitch or said anything about them on the computer. Yeah. Well, that's good. I'm glad that she's done. I'm glad the lady sister is done so that you can come and hang out with us. Yeah. I know, like, yeah, it seems like Amazon Prime seems to be doing a lot more of the more, like, intense related fantasy stuff, though I guess Netflix has The Witcher. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was more just like, if you know the Winx saga, you know how bad the Winx saga live action series missed the boat. But yeah, I think because my dad had really bad ADD, but he would have meetings at 6 a.m. And so he would have to be at work at like 6 a.m, but then he couldn't really get anything done until everyone clocked off at like 5. So then he wasn't getting home until like 6, 7 o'clock because he would then get all of his work done after everyone left. So we just assumed he was a big workaholic, but I think he just, you know, had bad time management due to his brain not being able to function effectively in those certain environments. So now he's living his best life. Yeah, that sister lives in The Villages in Florida now. Ooh, oh, she's one of those, like, retired, lives in Florida biddies. To be fair, there's a lot of people, so there's this term, I don't know if I've talked about it before, but they call them snowbirds. So there's a lot of middle-aged and retired people in Canada, specifically in like sort of Ontario and like central Canada where there's a lot of snow. And what they do is they spend summers, like they spend the first half of the year, the summer part of the year in Canada, and then in the wintertime, because they don't want to deal with all the snow, they then have properties down in Florida. And so we call them snowbirds because they fly south for the winter. I think my friend's dad has a property in Florida. Yeah, that's so funny. That was a story arc on Bob's Burgers. I remember that. They went down to see Gail's parents and realized that they were like now in an open marriage and that their retirement resort was kind of like a low-key swinging facility. And it's like, hey man, why not? I remember when I was at university and we were studying like I don't know, we had to basically like focus on different age ranges for what we were doing and like write a report or whatever. And so I can't remember why, or I can't remember the context, but I remember we were talking about, or there was a report about how in retirement homes, there's been like a massive rise in STIs, because I think obviously there's all these geriatric people in these homes that are like, well, like I'm not able to get pregnant anymore, like who, let's do whatever. And they're from an age range that wasn't necessarily taught about STIs and stuff. And so there was like massive outbreaks that they then needed to sort of provide sex education to seniors so that they understood that like just because you can't get pregnant anymore doesn't mean that other shit can't happen to you. Yeah. Exactly, that was the thing where it's like, well, if I can't get pregnant, then I can do whatever I want. And it's like, no, there's a bunch of other stuff going on down there that you could get. I would never, what, hey man, you don't know. You might become completely unhinged by the time you're in your, like, 80s. Who knows? But yeah, probably not. I feel like there's probably, like, which I guess it's like with anything, right? I feel like there's probably two different ways that people, like, what happens to people when they age, you know what I mean? It's like they either probably get more stuck in their ways, or they almost do a complete 180 and they're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want now. Like, it's almost like this thing where, because when people get older, they sort of like become invisible to society a little bit. And so, I don't know if that then maybe in a way, like, frees them. And they're like, oh, I feel like I don't have any inhibitions because, like, no one gives a shit about the elderly, so I can just do whatever I want. But, or they just double down on who they already are as people. Sometimes for better or worse. Don't let me touch as it is. Yeah. No, that's fair. Okay, this one looks a little bit lumpy bumpy compared to the other one. Yeah. Right. I'm sure it was one of those things that you probably dealt with it, but you didn't necessarily enjoy it. like you were probably masking that, and then you got a bit older and was like, no, actually, I don't enjoy this, so I'm going to assert my boundaries and not have this happen. Which I think fair. Because that's a whole other can of worms too, right? Because it's only now that we're finally, like, you know, now that we are all adults, getting into that point where we're talking about, like, consent as children and stuff, and how you don't have to hug everybody just because they ask for hugs, and, like, learning to have autonomy over your own body. Because the last thing I would want to do, like, I know some people are weird about that, but I don't like that where, like, you'll see people, like, tickling kids and they're laughing and you can tell that they're not and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. My mom used to make me go to functions all the time. And yeah, exactly, right? And it's one of those where if you're not going to enjoy yourself, yeah, because you would need to, like, build up the mental and physical energy to do it. 100%. Yeah, absolutely. It's good that your mom did finally clock that. Because I can understand, obviously, like, when, like, you're, like, a kid who isn't, like, of an age that you can stay home by yourself, it can be difficult, especially if it's, like, a family function, and then it seems kind of, I don't know, it seems kind of weird to be like, oh, I'm gonna get a babysitter for a family function. Though I guess maybe, you know, if we could get to a point where it's like, yeah, no, so-and-so doesn't want to come to the family function, so we've hired a babysitter, that's fine. But also, too, I know that sometimes babysitting is, like, hard to come by. So when kids are younger, like, it's just sometimes easier for them to tag along. But then once they get to a certain point where they're allowed to stay home on their own, if they then don't want to go to a function, I feel like it's perfectly within, like, I think it's probably smart on the parents' part, because they're just going to feel awkward and then be like, oh no, we should go to things or we should do this things. And it then becomes this, like, awkward thing because your child is miserable and you're trying to make it seem like we're all one big happy family having fun, and it probably isn't very fun for the parents because they're then worried about you, or they're then upset that you're not looking like you're having fun, and it would be a whole thing. Yeah, my cousin never got that. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, that I feel the same way about a lot of people. I'm like, what's it like to be an extrovert? What's it like to be fueled by social interactions with large groups of people? Tell me more, you know? It just seems like such a foreign concept. Like, there's certain people in my life that I do think, like, I think that there are people in your life, like, there's, like, obviously the stranger and the introvert-extrovert part aside, I think there are, like, I believe that there are people in your life that drain your mental energy, and there are some people that do refuel that, right? So I think it's helpful to, hopefully there are people in your life that you can spend time with them and feel replenished, whether that's, like, mentally or emotionally sort of thing. But then there's other people where they literally are just, like, energy vampires, and they just sort of, like, suck. Like, it sounds terrible because you could have an amazing time with this person, but you could be exhausted after interacting with them and then have to sort of, like, balance the amount of interaction you have because, you know, for whatever reason, they just sort of, like, I don't know, you're required to maybe bring more to the interaction, and it then takes more out of you, and you therefore need recharge time. You know what I mean? Whereas other people, you can just kind of, like, vibe out with them, and then it's like, that's fine. And it's like, you know, it's a refueling. And then you feel bad, because it's one of those things where there are some people that they might have the best intentions, but they are exhausting to be around, and that's really a shame. And you don't want them to, you know, take it personally, but it's just like, I need to be in a space to be able to spend time with you, and that sounds really bad, but that's, you know, I think, again, it also comes into play, like, if you are a very empathetic person and, like, you know, have, you know, absorbed the sort of emotions of others, yeah, it can be, I don't know, it can be difficult sometimes to be around people for long periods of time or stuff like that. I know someone in particular who's exactly that. Yeah. And then, of course, too, then it sounds like, and I think that's why, too, like, as somebody who, at least for me, like, struggles with, like, my mental health and stuff sometimes, and it's like, when you have someone who knows when it's time to go, yeah, exactly, yeah. It's good when you have those people, because they're kind of like, oh, I sense that you're flagging, let's get out of here, or, like, I'm going to give you the space and be okay with it. Because I think the other thing, too, right, is, unfortunately, if I am in a more kind of anxious and or, like, depressed headspace, it becomes that much more difficult to engage with, like, energy-draining vampires. And so, you know, I could have every intention to want to go to a particular function or whatever. And it's like, you know, on a good mental health day, I could thrive in this environment and I could handle your bullshit and I could entertain spending time with you, but I can't in my current headspace. You know what I mean? But I married someone who also hates social gatherings. She will shoot eyes at each other. Yeah, that's really good. Tyler's always ready to go but doesn't mind staying if I'm feeling okay. That's really good. That's amazing. That's really good, too, to sort of have that person who's kind of like, you know, I'm happy to stay, but based on the vibes that you are experiencing. So if you're having a great time, that makes me feel good. We'll hang out. But if you're struggling, that's it. We get the fuck out of here, you know? Yeah, and thankfully, Liam is like that, too, where he's kind of like, okay, I can tell you're flagging. I think it's time to go. And I'm like, yes, please, okay. Sometimes even before I know, he's like, It's not until we, like, I told you guys about that, how we got in the car, and he was like, are you okay? And I just started crying, and I was like, oh, I guess I was overwhelmed and didn't realize it. And he's like, yeah, I could tell you had kind of froze. And I was like, huh, interesting. Well, I'm glad you picked up on that, because I didn't. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. But yeah, so I am, like, because as excited as I am for all of my family to come and visit, I am a little bit, like, nervous of, like, again, because I'm such a routine-based individual and, like, I thrive off of plans and structure and comfort and security, which my family knows. Like, they are aware of that. But I think there is also a level of, like, excitement and wanting to engage and do things and whatever. And I think I just need to feel comfortable enough to be able to say, like, okay, I know you, like, all these things seem like fun little casual outings, but it's like every time we leave the house, it is a big to-do in my brain. And so we need, like, I either need to do my half of the schedule, like, do my own thing and then leave, or, like, you have to kind of go on without me, you know. But hi, Saul, good afternoon, how are you doing? Did you attempt to eat the chicken stir fry yet? Guys, Saul's been on a little bit of, like, a culinary adventure lately. He's been trying all sorts of new foods. Unfortunately, they seem to be turning up not so good sometimes, which is a shame. But, you know, you win some, you lose some, you know? Not everything can be super tasty and awesome. But it's just a bummer when it is. You'll eat that later. That's fair. That's fair. I await the verdict. I'm looking forward to knowing what the outcome is. But yeah, I'm talking to my parents on Monday. It's a bank holiday on Monday, which is cool. There's actually a bunch of bank holidays happening in May. Because Because there's the regular I guess there's like the regular May bank holiday. I think there's one at the end of the month as well, apparently. And then obviously there's Charles's coronation, and we get a day for that, so. You made chicken stir fry yesterday? Oh, that's amazing. I hope yours was tasty. But yeah, so lots of stuff. So I'm going to be talking to them, because I think the other thing too is I'm like, okay, I think I will be able to function with having, you know, events and stuff going on if none of it starts before like 10. You know what I mean? Because that's the other thing too, where I'm like, okay, if we want to spend all day in London, like, there's things I need to do to put myself in a headspace to do that, and a lot of it will be like making sure I take Shadow for a decent walk and all that kind of stuff. Like, I can get ready earlier in order to sort of accommodate that, but it's more like making sure, it's almost like by insisting on keeping Shadow's schedule consistent, that also keeps my schedule consistent, and then everybody is happy chappies and our mental health doesn't, you know, go in the shitter. So don't switch. Let's look at the feuds. I'm excited. Ooh, that looks really nice. Guys, look at Cat stir fry. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. No, I'm gallivanting around with my parents. So unless you want to, you know, walk for about 20,000 steps and try on for fancy dresses and shoes, we will meet up at some point, Saul. That is a plan. But May is gonna be nuts, so it will have to be after that. Tempted, not gonna lie. Yeah, right? Ooh, are those... Is that broccoli? Or are those, like, artichokes? I don't know, man. The veg looks wonderful. And I like the plating. I like that there's the big scoop of salt, like, rice in the center. And then there's the saucy sauce. It looks really good. It looks hella tasty. I do know London Calling by The Clash, vaguely. Broccoli and snow peas, amazing. Love it. You know what it is? I just know the London Calling. That's the only part I know. That's the only part I know. We're supposed to have zucchinis, but Kroger didn't have any in stock. Want to give it a shot? Ooh. We can try. Let me see. Let me see if it's doable or if it's gonna be incredibly cringe. We might need to have a backup song just in case. Let's see if I know. Maybe I know other songs by The Clash better. Let's see. Sounds like a win-win to me. The Clash. Oh, I know Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash. That one I definitely know. I can, like, confirm that I know that one. Maybe Rock the Casbah. We can try London Calling. Go on then. Mutual understanding. Okay. Yeah, I can rock Should I Stay or Should I Go? Just to, there we go. Meet in the middle. Compromise. Okay. We will attempt. Okay, we gotta mute the jazz.
Paris, Rome.
Let's mute that. Let's turn this up. Saul has redeemed some karaokes. Patats needs a wake-up call. Yeah, okay. For you, Patats. All right. Oh, let's, there we go. We can actually, hello. All right, let's see. I just, you know why I know the song? It's because we played it on Rock Band all the time. Yeah. We played this on Rock Band constantly. So that's how I know this one. Whoo! Darling, you've got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If you say that you are mine, I'll be here till the end of time. So you got to let me know. It's my bad British deep voice. Should I stay or should I go? It's always tease, tease, tease. You're happy when I'm on my knees. One day it's fine and next it's black. So if you want me off your back, well, come on and let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble. And if I stay, there will be double. He knows, he knows. Come on and let me know. This indecision's bugging me. If you don't want me, set me free. Exactly whom I'm supposed to be. Don't you know which clothes even fit me? I didn't know that. So come on and let me know. Should I cool it? Should I blow? See, in Rock Band, you got to play the tambourine, so there was a mic, and then it also had a sound detection, so you would sit there and you would smack the top of the mic, and that's how you would play the tambourine in Rock Band. Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I go, there will be trouble. But if I stay, there will be double. So you gotta let me know. Should I cool it or should I blow? Should I stay or should I go now? Should I stay or should I go now? If I stay, it will be double. Ooh, I missed a line. So, got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? That was a bit chaotic. But I still stand by my statement that I think I crushed it, so it's okay. Oh, hello, advert. We don't need you. We don't need you. There we go. You're welcome. So it was no London Calling, but it was, I hope it was considered, you know, a decent second option.
It's tea time.
Thank you for that. That was, yeah. Cheers. Cheers, mates. Let's drink our tea after that. But yeah, I love, Patats, that your boyfriend was singing along, because you have to put on this, like, the Clash sound. Yeah, I think so. I managed to, I tested them earlier, and I think they are working, and just to be safe, I also took the, oh my god, my brain. I took the plugin off of the desktop ones, because I knew there was a potential issue before where because I had the, because it was embedded on my OBS on my desktop, sometimes what was happening is I was thinking that it wasn't playing on here because it was clued into that. So I took it off of that just to make sure. But yes, it seems like thankfully they're working. So, upon most recent test, the answer is yes. But yeah, I didn't realize too, because again, yeah, the London Calling, I just don't. London Calling. But they also do Rock the Casbah, which I didn't realize, because that's another bop that I am aware of. But yeah, most of my classic rock knowledge comes from either my parents or because I played it in Rock Band. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes it's because my whole family, we used to play Rock Band as a family. I think I told you this, where sometimes my mom would sing, my brother would play the drums, I would always play the bass because I found it too difficult to play the guitar. There were too many bits. And yeah, the Who as well. And then there's also the Canadian The Guess Who, which are also good. But yeah, the Who is very good. But yeah, so we would do that, and then my brother would sometimes my dad would play the drums, but he couldn't hit the top and remember to hit the bass pedal at the same time. Yeah, Status Quo never crossed over, but that's my father-in-law's favorite band. So Status Quo is like #1 band in Liam's family's household. But yeah, they never crossed the pond, unfortunately. So my parents are not aware of them, but I do feel like they would like them because they're of the same musical style generation that they enjoy. But yeah, Status Quo is like cult status in our family. Not that I could name any particular songs of them for you, but Liam could. My father's favorite too. Yeah. I do feel though, I don't know, man, dad rock is pretty chill. I feel like most classic rock in the traditional sense could also be synonymous with the term dad rock. But you know, dads are cool. They deserve to have the option to rock. I wonder what mom rock is. You know what I mean? Like, who would you put under the mom rock category? Or do moms not get to rock, only dads? What is the mom genre? And what bands are in them? Mom rock is Fleetwood Mac. True! That makes sense. Yeah, mom rock is Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, Also full of bangers. Shania Twain, yeah. Yeah, I guess anything that would be put under, like, contemporary music. To be fair, I know that Florence and the Machine is, like, bigger than that, but I also feel like moms could rock out to Florence and the Machine. Basically, like, witchy moms, you know? I think that's the same for Fleetwood Mac and, like, Stevie Nicks. They're all just, like, little witchy moms. Okay, what are we doing now? Filling these in. Oh, you on the move, sir. You just turning around. Turn around. That's also mom rock. Ace of Base, absolutely. Who sings that? Bonnie Tyler? Who sings Total Eclipse of the Heart? That's some mom rock right there. Every now and then. I think Celine Dion too, though I guess that's not really rock. But yeah, Ace of Base, definitely. I saw the signs and it opened up my eyes. I saw the signs. Don't they also sing that one about like a baby? What's the song? What is it? They have Signs and they have another one that is about a baby, I think. What's it called? Ace of Base. All That She Wants. Yeah! All that she wants is another baby. Yeah, that's the one. The sign is good too. I feel like the sign got a new lease on life from Pitch Perfect, because they did a medley of that one. Paris Paloma Labor makes me like yell and makes me like yell in my car. Oh, that's a song? That sounds like mom rock if I ever heard it. Yeah, that's a pretty cool grandma. K-pop grandmas? Oh, there's gonna be a whole generation of K-pop grandmas. That's gonna be so cool. Patats is like, if liking BTS makes me a grandma, then I am grandma. Is there really? Oh, there would be. That's amazing. There's a K-pop grandma on Instagram. I love that. That's amazing. That's so awesome. Alright, little orange dots. She's local to my area too. That would be amazing. I would like to manifest you running into K-pop Granny. That would be awesome. I doubt she'll be running. You don't know, man. She could be. There'd be some like 80-year-old marathon runners and shit out in the world. It's wild. I love it. I hope she does like TikTok dances to K-pop songs. Yeah, that's true. You might. That would be fun. I'd be like, oh my god, K-pop Granny, I love you. At the same time, yeah. She's gonna be, they're in battle stages, so she's gonna be in the middle, and there's gonna be one stage on one side and a stage on the other side, and she's just gonna jump back and forth between the two all evening. It's gonna be like battle stages, like in Scott Pilgrim. Do you remember? There was a moment where they were battling, they were the twins, and they had to battle each other on opposing stages with the power of their music. That's what's gonna happen. They're like, there can only be one. There's like a bajillion K-pop acts, but they're like, of these ones, K-pop battle brackets. I'd watch that. That'd be cool. I can picture. Yeah. Country. I read up too. I'm actually super stoked about it. They're gonna be doing an anime series of Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and all of the original actors who played in the live action adaptation are coming back as voices, which is like the coolest thing. So I'm very stoked for that. I love Scott Pilgrim. Ooh, let's check it out. Posted in screenshot in general. Okie dokes. Yeah, you're also excited for that? We gotta, how do I zoom in? How do I zoom in? There we go. No, it's so small. Bay Area K-pop granny. Okay, I gotta look this up. I'm gonna look this up on the gram. This will be easier to see. Because I don't know how to make the screen bigger. Yeah! Cute! K-pop granny, your favorite K-pop granny. Bay Area K-pop and cup sleeve adventures. Oh, look at her! So cute! She's got her own little entourage of fans. I love it. Was that a K-pop granny Sol, or was that the K-pop granny? That's so cute. Celebrating our lovely Jimin. I wonder who her biases are. Clearly she loves Jimin. That's wild. She looks so happy. Oh, she's a multi-stan, so I don't know. I guess she doesn't have a any official biases. That's really cool. That's amazing. Maybe that was pre-K-pop, you know what I mean? Or maybe, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know how. Maybe she was like already into K-pop before it like super blew up. Felix is a cat. I went through a phase where I was obsessed with Felix the cat. He's got a nice voice, yeah. Oh, right. Felix the K-pop guy, not Felix the cat. For a second I was like, what? Right. Felix the K-pop person. Yeah, there was when I used to do youth work, I had I guess a client, I don't know, a person that I worked with, and she was super into K-pop, so that's how I learned about it. Was through her, because she was talking to me about it, and so we would like watch videos. That's when I initially found out about the League of Legends Kada song, aside from hearing it on Beat Saber. Is she showed me a video of it with Madison Beer performing. Kind of. We're on number 8, Fluff. So we have number 8 of 12. But I think there's like a lot of just kind of little one-off things. So like these things are colored in. But I guess in terms of the bulk of the project, yeah, I do think so. We're more than halfway done, definitely. So no, you're not being silly. You are accurately perceiving the situation. Yeah. It's probably starting to look a bit more cohesive. Everything has like a bit of color to it now. So that's nice. But yeah, it is. It's all coming together. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think so too. It was interesting because I was posting like progress pictures of this on Instagram, and like it doesn't look like a lot changes between the two. Like for a couple of them I was like, oh, there's not really like a huge difference, but I think you're right that like now things are starting to look a little bit more complete. Final stretch. Could be too that it's just like brighter colors that we're using as well. Oh, time to stretch. Have I been in craft gremlin mode for almost 2 hours? The answer is yes. Let's do a bit of stretching. Yeah, stretch. Are you gonna stretch too, Shadow? He's like, no, I'm asleep. Ooh. It was so funny. I got out of bed before Liam this morning. And when I got out of bed, Shadow was on top of the bed and he was whining for pets. And I was like, basically what happens is he usually likes to lie in the bed with his butt towards you, but then also wants face pets. So he's so long and he's like laying, his butt's like at my waist. So I have to full on bend in half to give him face pets because he wants to lie down and get the pets. So I was like, well, now I'm awake, so now I need to pee. So I got out of bed and started getting ready for the day. And then I came back in and like it looked like Liam had taken up the whole bed. So I kept getting ready. I was like, oh, Shadow's maybe in the other room or whatever. And then I asked Liam, I was like, well, where's Shadow? And he goes, well, where do you think? And so then I lifted up the covers on my side of the bed. So the mound that I just thought was like Liam's leg, like, you know, scrunched up around like the comforter or whatever. Lifted it up and then there was just a little snoot. Just a little Shadow snoot under the covers. And I was like, oh, there you are, little sir. Okay, I put the cover back down. I'll let you get back to your business. This is very cute. But yeah, he does like, I think he was a little bit chilly this morning because we had the fan on. Because again, it's like this weird in-between weather where it's kind of cold, but then it's also really humid and warm and stuff as well. So it's like a fine balance. So yeah, he wanted to come under the covers for warm snuggles. And I was like, okay, I'll leave you to it. It'll be really interesting when my brother and his girlfriend come and stay with us, because obviously they're going to stay in the spare room. But the spare room has kind of just become another glorified sleeping spot for Shadow. So we have a pull-out couch in there. And so right now it's not pulled out, but when it is, he will also sleep on that. And so it depends like what level they're comfortable at. I feel like I pronounced every syllable very explicitly there. Whether or not they'll want him in their room, because he'll also like, sometimes he'll like steal socks or he'll steal like fluffy things and whatever, so it depends if they want him in there. So we have little locks on the doors. And I remember when my friend came to visit, I think Shadow like got really annoyed because she had locked the door to go to bed and he was upset that he wasn't allowed to come in, so he started pawing at the door. And so we had to like basically coax him into our room because he wouldn't shut up. Like he wouldn't stop pawing at the door and scratching at it. And I'm like, wait, listen, my friend is trying to sleep. You can't go into the room. So we'll see. I think if they, like, elevate their stuff or they're not worried about him, like, stealing it, then I think it'll be fine. But I think the first couple of days, he'll be a bit pissed off that he's not able to have access to every room in the house again. He definitely won't when my parents are staying with us, because they like to have things separate. But yeah, so that'll be interesting. Got a new fit note, but they wouldn't let me speak to the doctor, and have just given me another month, despite the fact that my next appointment isn't until November. Yeah. It's sort of like, it's like a note that says that you're unable to work. It's basically like a doctor's note, but they call it a fit note. Yeah. I guess, to be fair, you know, it's probably, from their perspective, they're just gonna keep giving you fit notes unprompted until November. Because they're like, okay, cool, you have an appointment. We're just gonna keep giving you fit notes until then. I think that's just what's gonna happen. They're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, like, unless the appointment comes up. Because, like, from their perspective, they're probably like, cool, you have an appointment, we'll just keep renewing shit. Which, I guess, in a way, is probably nice, because then you don't have to deal with their bullshit, but it's also probably frustrating if you do actually want to talk to them. Yeah, I have to submit one to Universal Credit, unfortunately. Yeah, that's nice. It's good when it's like a formulaic thing that you can just submit online. But, right, so right now you're just getting the monthly ones, but it would be ideal if they could give you the 3-month one. But you would have to speak to a person in order to ask them about the 3-month one, and they didn't communicate with you at all. I see. You're like, let's make this easier for both of us. Let's just do the 3-month one instead of me having to continually follow up with you every month. That would just make everybody's life easier. So hopefully it'll get to a point where that can happen. But that's annoying. I have to renew one of my prescriptions. But thankfully, I think now the app that they keep on trying to tell me to use that was broken and wasn't letting me do the thing, I think is finally up and running again. So now I should hopefully be back to not having to talk to a human to get my pills. I told you guys about how I tried to be proactive and schedule one of those, because every 6 months they want you to do a pill check where they'll check if you have any symptoms negative side effects related to taking birth control or taking, the antidepressant that I'm on or whatever. And so I saw something on my pill renewal form, a date at the end of whatever, I think it was end of March. And I was like, oh, that must mean that I need to have a pill renewal at that time. So I booked it in, and then everybody seemed really confused as to why I had asked for one. And they were kind of like, well, are you having any problems? And I was like, no. And they were like, oh, okay, things are fine then. And I was kind of like, so what was this date? And they're like, oh. And I was like, okay. So now I'm just going to wait for them to yell at me when they renew my prescription. Because obviously me trying to be proactive just confused everyone. So, because it's meant to happen every 6 months. And I'm like, I don't remember when my last one was. And so I'll just wait for when I renew my prescription and they send something in capital letters being like, you must book pill check ASAP. And then I will. Because, they're like, I don't know what that date means. And I was like, then why is it on my renewal form? Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if, unfortunately, Saul, you're the, outlier in terms of actually wanting to talk to people. Because I feel like there's some people, I know of some people that once they got on, disability, they would just be like, yep, cool, don't want to talk to anybody. Yep, this is me. I'm never going to work again. I don't care. I'm not going to do this. And they would just, go in for the formula. And the fact that you're, wanting to talk to somebody and actually, get progress and follow up and things like that. They're almost kind of like, well, that's foreign. Usually people just like take their form and just be like, okay, doc, see you later. Don't want to have to ever work again, sort of thing. So they're probably confused as to you actually giving a shit about your health and your well-being. 100%. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It is such a strange, like, yeah, it is such an interesting, because I think some people, yeah, they just don't want, yeah, I don't know. But it's frustrating that it is such slow progress, but it's good to know that you actually do have an appointment. Hopefully there's a cancellation and they'll boost you up. That would be nice. Okay, enjoy the rest of your day, Kat. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you next week, hopefully. Have an amazing rest of your day. Go have a nap. Have a good nap. Enjoy your nap. I love a good nap. Go have the best nap ever. Adios, muchachos. Cool. Ooh, oh no, we finished the tea. Good thing I have iced tea. Got 2 kinds of tea today. We're not messing around. Hi, Melon. Good morning. You're in the States, I think. Good morning to you. I hope you're having a nice day. We are continuing the Felty Stab Train. Welcome, welcome. And talking about how broken the healthcare system is. And that's from a UK perspective. I know that the US is probably extra fucked. Keep on stabbing. Oh, amazing. Are you starting like from scratch, or is it something that you're currently working on? And also, what costume cosplay is it? Do share if you would like. Oh, speaking of sewing and making stuff, I don't know if you guys know, but Patats bought a sewing machine, and she made her first thing the other day, and it was freaking adorable. She made a little toy for her cat, Wendy, and it was a little fishy fish. And it was so cute, and I love seeing it, and it made me really happy that you, like, impulse bought it, and then literally, like, within 72 hours, 24, 48 hours. I don't know. Like, the turnaround time between acquiring the object and making a thing from it is really cool. It's a shirt that I'm lining with yellow fabric. Oh, cool. Yeah, resembling a fish. Yeah, I was so excited. I honestly, like, I saw your story and just started grinning like an idiot. I was like, she made a thing! It was very exciting. I was, like, really excited. Wally Darling. I don't know if I know who that is. Let me Google it. Wally Darling. What is this from? It looks like a Sesame Street character. Is it? Which is a practice thing, so I'm excited. Yeah! You should have put catnip beside. Yeah, I guess true. That's true. You could have put a little something in there for her. Oh, Welcome Home Puppet Show. American children's television program. Oh. Yeah. Cool. What is this? Welcome Home. I've never heard of this before. American children's television program that supposedly aired 1969 until 1974. Cool. Yeah, it sort of is like an adjacent, like Sesame Street adjacent. It's not real? Oh, is it like a fictionalized thing? Oh. Oh, that's so funny. So there's like lore around it. Oh. Oh. It's a new horror ARG. Oh. Oh, okay. Interesting. So it's like, so it is, I guess, like a Sesame spoof, but it's like dark, spooky, eerie internet Sesame Street spoof. Okay. You can tell how much I spend time on the internet. Or obviously I'm in a different part of the internet that I'm not aware of these things. But that's cool! Especially if it's like a cult classic thing. I'm sure everyone would be super excited to find, like, to see that cosplay. Do you have a particular con lined up that you're gonna wear it to? Thank you, Saul, for educating me. Oh, okay. That's cute. I was wondering where that reference came from. Or, you know, maybe you just are a gay mailman. Which wouldn't be a bad or it just nothing wrong with that. Interesting. You're wearing the oh, cool. You're wearing the shirt. Unless you're doing an entire cosplay, that would be wild. Unless your dad's into that. That would be kind of cool if you just showed up in a complete cosplay to your dad's wedding. That would be wild. But also would be very cool. Interesting. It's moments like these where I definitely feel, I don't know, I feel like an old lady. I'm like, what is this newfangled fancy internet subculture I am not aware of? Wow. Let me ear the ground for these lore materials. Yeah! I'm aware of FNAF and Bendy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't Hello Neighbor? That's a video game. I'm aware of that. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, isn't Hello Neighbors is a game series I'm aware of because my friend plays it with his young daughter. I say young. She's like, I don't know. Anyway. He doesn't have a clue, and it's tomorrow. So I should hurry and start sewing. Yeah, you should get on that. You need to get to sewing. All of those except Pets Cop. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. It's sort of like a small, it's like a game or like and then it sort of spawns a larger, because I know, I'm aware that FNAF was like a huge thing, and I knew it was originally a game, but then it became this like huge cult following with all these like songs and YouTube videos and all these different things. Yeah. It's when like something almost takes on like a cult classic status on the internet and then like spawns all of these other things and almost makes it bigger than the actual like original IP itself. Interesting. Backrooms, to be fair, was a video series before the game. Okay. Poppy is also a musical artist that uses AirG. Yeah, I think I might have heard of Poppy. See, I think all of these things are things that my 6-year-old nephew accidentally stumbles upon when he's watching Roblox content on YouTube. Because every once in a while, there was this thing where there was like a haunted Thomas the Tank Engine situation as well. But yeah, I think because a lot of times, like, Minecraft players will then make, like, content based on these sort of horror IPs, and then, yeah. Hey, man, to each their own. 8 to 6, yeah, 8 to 16-year-olds, not 5, 6-year-olds. I guess is this the new, oh my god, is this like, is this a newfangled version of like Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark for like the internet era? You know what I mean? Because I feel like 8 to 16 was probably the demographic for the original like Goosebumps series and like Are You Afraid of the Dark and stuff. So I feel like there was always sort of like horror content for kids. But yeah, interesting. Damn, I feel like I'm having, you know, a massive online horror education time. Yes, literally. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm aware of Bendy as well. I guess once I put it into perspective that it's basically like modern day Goosebumps, I'm less concerned, you know? Because originally I'm kind of like, uh-oh, what sort of creepy shit is the internet trying to put in young minds? I become one of those people. But now I'm like, oh, okay, within the context of it being like Goosebumps, then makes sense. I knew someone who had all the Goosebumps. I just thought the covers looked really cool, but I was too much of a little scaredy pants and I never watched any or consumed or read any of the Goosebumps related content. FNAF books are even constructed. Yeah, really? Yeah. Well, yeah, because isn't the whole thing with FNAF is that they're like animatronics that then went rogue? And then there was a thing where maybe they were mascots, and then the people in the mascot died and stuff. I don't know, man. Because I'm not a big, like, horror person. I feel like even, like, little kid horror, I'm like, not for me. Okay, where are we going? Where are we at? What are we doing? I think all that's left is to fill in these guys. And then we're also going to do a little brown dot in the center. But yeah, I remember, because again, basically, in both countries, I worked with kids. Youths, teenagers, if you will. So I ran a youth group back in my hometown, and I feel like that was one of the sort of heights of the FNAF craze. And so I remember we would like have YouTube on, and some of the kids would stick on music they wanted to listen to, and one of them would put on this like, I think that it was like fan generated FNAF related music. But it was, I know it's a specific subgenre of music where it's very auto-tuned and also very sort of synthy sounding, and I'm sure it has a specific like subgenre name. But I just remember it being low-key annoying because I would listen to it really loud and it was like really sort of squeaky in its musicality. Unfortunately, I was like not a fan. I do love the use of FNAF books. Our lore, David will introduce scenes in his movies and TV shows as keys for his audience that they could use to understand the main themes. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It is a kind of like a sort of like horror electro-pop thing, definitely. I've used these cool books. Yeah. I do think that's really cool. I do like when like universes get extended through different things. Whether it's like a movie that then has like spin-off shows that help like build off the lore, or books and things like that. I do think that that's really clever, and sort of like, obviously the game, like the FNAF game, has its own sort of like story within it, but obviously you can only capture that content in a game. Like there's only a certain sort of section of that story. So then to take it out and blow it out into a larger universe with different lore and different sort of stuff like that is interesting. But yeah, now that I think about it too, yeah, there was a lot of kids that I was aware that were in my general zeitgeist. I'm sure that's the other thing too, that as like fan theories and user generated content and then official content comes out, it then sort of can blur, and it's hard to like make sense of the lore over time. Because wasn't there like a thing where like some of them, it's like they were dead, they were possessed, they were like there's certain things that sometimes it's like, okay, if you're following this narrative arc, that is the lore and that makes sense. But then if you move on to another thing, then that then almost cancels out or doesn't make sense within the context of this lore. So you almost have to like pick a side and be like, this is canon for me, or this is not canon for me. You know what I mean? I know, I feel like this is good though. Not that I've like, you know, because I don't work with teenagers anymore. Like, I feel like it was always helpful when I would find out about these things, even just like asking them about it. Like I remember, actually it was funny because there was one of the kids I was working with who was really into the anime My Hero Academia. And so I watched the first season of the show so that when I was working with them, I like had stuff to talk about with them, or like, you know, I could potentially, I had the theory or the thought to like relate, you know, what we were talking about potentially to certain characters if it sort of made sense. So it's always very good when I learn these things, and then I meet a youth who's like into these things and I go, oh, I know what that is. And then they're always like impressed. I'm like, yeah, I'm not just a regular old lady. I got cool youth facts. I know what's up with the kids. To a degree. To a degree. But again, that's how my understanding of K-pop happened as well. Because I was trying to relate to the kid that I was working with. And so I was like, tell me about K-pop. Teach me your ways. It's a way to, like, build trust with kids when you're, like, into...
Are made of.
Thank you for that, Melon. I do hope for something similar, but more adult, but these things are made to be franchised and sell merch. Yeah. I guess though, there is, like, something to be said for, like, kids media being so well done that it actually is, like, interesting for adults as well. I always find that's a mark of a good children's show if, like, it's actually something that is appealing to adults as well. But if you want to have, like, unfortunately, if your goal is to have something that kind of completely devoids that part of capitalism from it, then it will be very hard to come by. But yeah. Yeah, that one's, again, I never got into that one, but that was a huge, that had a chokehold on the nation for sure. Orphan Black is a good one. I don't know if you've ever watched Orphan Black. That's one of my favorite TV shows of all time, sci-fi show. And that one has a little bit of lore to it as well. They're actually doing, like, an offshoot, but it has comic books, and I think they did, like, a serialized, almost, like, audio show as well, which I had not listened to. But there's quite a bit of, like, lore and philosophy and sort of theory around the content. If you're into that kind of stuff. If you want some sci-fi lore. You love that show? Yeah, right? So that is one of Tasha's top 5 shows of all time. It's one of the only shows, like, remember how I talked about how when I was growing up, I never ended up watching, like, Pretty Little Liars, Gossip Girl, things like that, because I wasn't somebody who would, like, religiously tune in every week to watch an episode of a show as the show was airing. Orphan Black is the only exception to that. I full on, like, kept tabs on when the season finale was gonna, or, like, when the series start was happening, when the season finale, and, like, actually followed that show. That's the only one I can think of that I actively was, like, invested in throughout its entire arc. Yeah. Tatiana Maslany? She did. She acted in other things. Most recently, she's in She-Hulk, and I thought she was amazing. She's actually a really good comedic actor. But I'm not sure in terms of... But yeah, that one was amazing. But yeah, she's very versatile. But yeah, most recently, she was in She-Hulk. But... yeah, I love her. I found out about her because she was a side character in one of my favorite shows, Instant Star, in Canada. And then she went on and got her own show in this one, which is really cool. Oh no, Marvel. Yeah. Yeah, she got the Marvel bag. To be fair, all the big ol' sexist Marvel nerds really slagged her off, but I thought she was awesome. I worship the ground that Tatiana Maslany and Brie Larson walk on. I was going to say I would fight the trolls on their behalf, but I hate confrontation, so I will not engage with the trolls. Yeah, if you like Goosebumps, you'd probably like Creepypasta. Yeah, unfortunately, again, like I said, I'm not into any sort of horror things. I never was into Goosebumps. I was aware of Creepypasta, and I know of people that did Creepypasta. Yeah, she had, like, bit parts in movies, but nothing totally massive. Maybe she prefers, you know what I mean? Maybe she prefers, TV. I also think too that I think she likes more like indie stuff. Like she seems like she's more into sort of like indie character driven roles. And maybe a lot of movies that are getting like international release doesn't really account or accommodate for that. But yeah, I've seen in years that I think creepypasta, like in its heyday, wasn't amazing, but I think it's devolved into a lot more sort of like clickbaity, sort of Slenderman-esque stuff. But I'm not sure. This is what I've heard from people who originally were really into creepypasta. That's not something, again, like I said, I ever engaged in because I'm a little scaredy baby who doesn't like horror stuff. So... That's fair considering. Yeah. There is only. Yeah. Hey, only online. Yeah. To be fair, there's quite a few movies lately that seem really interesting to me. That I actually would consider maybe going to the cinema for. I knew what you meant. That's alright. Sometimes I speak the wrong words all the time. You just happen to type the wrong word, but I could figure it out. I knew what you meant. To be fair, I feel like the, yeah, probably. You probably typed it as I said a word, because sometimes I read what you guys have mentioned, and, yeah, sometimes I'll be reading what you guys are saying as I'm talking, and I will be reading it in my brain, and I'll accidentally say the word. So, sometimes good people ask me to go, and I'm just like, ugh, 2 hours. Some people really, I guess, it just means that you're probably not a big movie buff. Like, you're not a big movie watching person. Because there are people who love movies so much that it's actually a big joy for them to sit in an immersive, dark experience for 2 hours taking in the story. So it just could not be your thing. You know what I mean? BRB, time for second coffee. Get you a coffee. Go and get it. Used to love the cinema experience. Yeah. That's interesting. I guess maybe it's just, you know, what you're being asked to go see, possibly. Maybe that's what it is, where you're like, it needs to be a movie that is worth you investing 2 hours in the dark for. And maybe what people are asking you to go see with them is not having that. Exactly. Yeah. Favorite kind of tea? My absolute favorite. In the springtime, I like a good Earl Grey. And in the fall, winter months, I love a good chai. Those are my 2 favorites. So I guess black tea usually. But I like all tea. Hot tea usually. I'm less of a, well, I do like iced tea, but I mostly drink hot tea. Yeah. My favorite, one of my top five, one of my top favorite teas is from Fortnum & Mason. It's called Russian Caravan. It's a black tea. Or it's the same horror movie rehashed. Yeah, that's another thing too, isn't it? It's also something I do with my 2 coworkers. It's kind of hard to just hang out with no plans. So we'll go see a movie, then we have nothing. Yeah, that's true. That's a kind of interesting way to do it. I wouldn't mind, but that'll just be me moaning. Yeah, well. Maybe you have to challenge yourself to think of 2 good things that you liked about the experience. I don't know if you have any, because I know sometimes too, like obviously the big cineplexes and things like that, they will most likely not play sort of more like art house films, but if there's any like small little indie cinemas where you are, they might actually play more like character based things that are not like CGI, like more art house related films, you know? Or even better, sometimes like older movie theaters, they'll actually play old movies on the cinema. So it would be cool to go see like an old movie. Like one of the things that I did was this is one of the first things that Liam and I did when we moved. There was this old movie theater. I think it was actually like it's not a movie theater anymore. It was an actual like dinner show kind of place. And we saw Beetlejuice there, which was really cool. And obviously, like, that's a bit of a different experience than it's you watching for that. Yeah. I try to I like to get it hot and then let it cool down and drink it. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind when my tea cools down for the most part. Sometimes it tastes a bit, like, strange, but usually because I drink tea black, I don't put any milk in it, so I find it tastes good hot or cold. I start trying to be saying that. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's the other thing too, though. The cinemas are very expensive. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh, half the time too, when I go to the movies, my plan is to eat popcorn for dinner. Exactly. I eat movie food as dinner. But yeah, cinemas are expensive. That is definitely like a save up date night situation. Or something that you go halvesies on. Because, you know, there's nothing to be said that people can't equally contribute to date nights. There's a local theater in my hometown that would play midnight movies all the time. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fun. I think especially, too, if it's, like, your favorite movie, it's really cool to, like, watch it with, like, surround sound and, like, high definition and all that kind of stuff and just, like, be... And then also, too, it's kind of cool because then you're in a room with people who also probably really love the movie if it's, like, an older one. I know sometimes, too, in the summer, I don't know how frequently it is, but yeah. Does she pay for your Mountain Dew? She should. You can get coffee, but then you can also get, there are other beverage in stores besides coffee. Exactly. She needs to pay for the due. Eggo popcorn has made a few. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. It's one of those where it needs to be made. If it's going to be made in advance, it needs to sit there and not be smothered. You have to, like, it needs to be freshly smothered in butter or else it's too much. The thing here, though, is in the UK, popcorn, movie popcorn here is such a different experience. Because like in Canada and in the US, you have like butter, you know what I mean? Like butter that they pour over it. Whereas in the UK, they don't have like butter like you're thinking about when you think about movies. It's either salted or you can actually get sweet popcorn or you can get a combo. And it's like a lot less. I remember when I first moved here, we went to the movies. It tasted like nothing to me. I was like, there's no flavor to this popcorn. There's nothing. Like, I don't understand. Because I was so used to, like, butter, popcorn seasonings, like the whole 9 yards, like eat, you know, your day's worth of calories with one large popcorn situation. It's not the same experience in the UK at all. In silence? You guys don't talk about stuff? I've sipped every coffee she's bought so far, and it won't be awful. Well, yeah, I would assume that you wouldn't enjoy. Yeah, no. I don't think coffee would be. Okay. Well, that doesn't sound very fun for you. Even like asking about like someone's day, you know what I mean? Like, how are things? How is life? What is new? What's your favorite animal? If you were on a desert island, what 3 items would you bring? And why? Well, that's a shame. That doesn't sound very fun. I'm sorry. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just like, oh, you should be able to. Thank you, Melon. She should get her coffee to go and then take you to a corner store and buy you Dew, and then you sit on a bench where she drinks her coffee and you drink your Mountain Dew. Because then at least you'd have a beverage. You know? Compromise.
It's lengthening time.
Do another stretch. All the stretching. Ooh. But yeah, maybe next time you should do that. You should be like, how about you get your coffee to go? And then we will walk to nearest corner store and procure a beverage that I enjoy. And then we will sit on a bench and watch the world and people watch. Because that's sometimes interesting. So you can sit on a bench and look at all the crazy people that walk by and go, wow, check that person out. Oh, wow, look what's going on over there. Oh, look, a squirrel. Yeah, coffee and dew equals picnic. I think so. I think so. Ooh. Hi, Megan! Make a bug! Hello, hello! Happy Friday! You just caught me in the middle of a stretch. How you doing? How are things? How's life? Trying to remember where I'm at. I don't know. Oh, here we go. There's where we were. I remember now. I stretched so long I forgot what I was doing. I'm used to another streamer where I'm a mod or remind people to hydrate, stretch, and snack. That's funny. I like that. That's good. I think it's important. It's important for everyone to stay hydrated, get snacks and things. Doing good, working on chores, made some tea. Very nice. Ooh, very good. Project is coming along well. Yeah, it's not bad. If anything, we were remarking that there's 12 different wools, and we're on, 13 different wools, and we're on the 8th, but it's looking pretty, like, I don't know, it's coming together. Like, it's already looking quite full, even though there are still, 2, 4, 5 more bits of wool after this to work on, but it's already looking really nice. So, going very well. Yeah. I don't get that. I don't get how... Even not the people watching part, but just the, like... Can we go somewhere else that isn't a coffee shop so I can also have a beverage? If she's not that kind of person, then that means she's inconsiderate and rude. You know? Which is not nice. He streams late, but yeah. Very cool. Oh, okay. If you don't want... That's different then. If you do not want a beverage, I guess. That is fair. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, it's all good. I don't think I'm at a point where I've, like, necessitated needing mods. Like, I'm pretty good at handling most of the things. Oh, okay. You really? That's late to drink coffee. She's having after dinner coffee. Is she Italian? I don't know what other... I think there's probably other nationalities that also drink coffee really late in the day. But that's all I can think of. Right. Oh, dinner. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, like, not... You know what it is? It's because I eat dinner at, like, 8 o'clock at night. Most days. So, I could see for the average person, there's probably enough time left in the day to also have coffee. So, that's fair. That is fair. Or, like, an espresso after a big meal as long as it's the weekend. That's fair, yeah. I guess that's the thing, too. That's a thing that, you know, as somebody who has caffeine sensitivity, I stop drinking anything with caffeine in it for the most part after, like, 5 p.m. if I'm, like, pushing it. So even though I now, like, I'm aware, or I have to remind myself that, like, there are lots of people who consume caffeinated beverages way up until a lot later. And I am the anomaly. You know what I mean? I forget. Cool. I ate my dinner at 10 p.m. on the average, but I don't have lunch. Yeah, just a meal around. Yeah. That's fair. It's one of those where it's sort of, I guess it's sort of like a lupper situation, or just, it's just food. It's just food at a time that works for you, and that's all that matters. It doesn't need to have a label, you're right. It doesn't need to say anything. As long as you are consuming some form of sustenance to fuel your brain and body, then doesn't matter. I'm just happy to know that you're eating. That's cool. Yeah, honestly, everybody's on their own, like, pathway of how they want to manage their streams and stuff. I know people who, like, are just starting out and they already have mods, and that's cool. I am at a point where I feel like when I think about what a mod does, it's, like, controlling the chat and the bots and stuff, and, like, shouting people out. And I feel like, to be fair, I do forget to shout people out sometimes. But, for the most part, the chat isn't busy enough for me to miss things, so I can do all that on my own. We're not as hip-hop happening over here that it's not unmanageable. But I also respect that people might do that anyway. And that's up to them. Regardless, we go out, we eat, and then we walk. And then it's like, let's go get coffee. Okay, well, I want to go. Yeah. So it's like, so she wants a beverage to go with the things, and you were like, I do not like beverage, but I will come with you. Fair. Sounds like getting a coffee is just like something to do for her. Perhaps. Which is fair. That seems like a default social function thing. Like grabbing a drink of some sorts. What time is it? At least she tried, you know? At least she tried to watch the things that you like. That shows a willingness, which is nice. That's considerate. But yeah. Yeah! Patats beat me to it! That's so funny. That's so funny. My brain was processing and you basically, yeah. What she said. So what's the appeal, like, this, this is rude and you can tell me to shut the fuck up, but like, what's the appeal of staying together? Because it sounds like you're not enjoying any part of the situation. Yeah. Because my whole thing is I want you to be happy. And I know obviously that's like a big ask, you know, considering that you're going through stuff. And part of it could be like, you know, I know that not everything is fixed and stuff. But when I mean that, I mean it in the sense of like, I would like you to at least enjoy spending time with the people that are meant to be important to you. You know what I mean? And if those people aren't bringing you any joy or satisfaction in any capacity, I would like you to be able to be with people who do, you know? But I also respect that it gives you something to do, even if it's something that's... But then again, I'm like, but if it's not enjoyable, your time is precious. You deserve to be spending it with people that you have stuff in common with and that you enjoy being together with, you know? But I also respect that it's completely not my place, and so you can tell me to shut up if you need me to. Okay, so the plan is to fill in these orange sections here and then add a little brown dot in the center. There wasn't a specific place indicated on here, but hopefully it looks all right. I think it'll be fine. Ha! Thanks, Melon. I appreciate that. Just because the voice is pretty doesn't mean it says so. It, you know, it can say shit that's out of line. You know what I mean? And then I can think of different things to say that are in line. Okay. I do think that, well, I just like, okay. I do think that we need to probably go back in later and cover over some of the bold black lines, but it's all right. We can do that at a later date. Oh, excuse me. What time is it? Oh, we got 15 minutes left together. I feel like we've been making some good progress so far. Oh, why am I getting so tired? All of this stabbage is just taking so much out of me. But not actually. Oh, hello. What are you doing down here? Hi, baby. Oh, what was that? Say hello. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. You were laying down so peacefully beside me. Yeah, you were. I did not want to disturb you. Oh yeah, no, I know, Melon. I know. I was just making jokes, but I know what you mean. I was just kidding. Saul would never tell me to shut up. But I also wouldn't be offended if he did. Hello. Selfish reasons to me, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem, Melon. That's fair. I know they were the first match that you had on the app. Hello. But there is always the, well, I guess now you're, I guess, in the thick of it, if you would. But yeah, there's nothing to say that you wouldn't meet other people on the app if you decided to go back to it. You know what I mean? But I also respect that if this is what's working for you, even if it's not the most ideal of situations, I can respect that. You know? But it doesn't stop me from wishing more, you know, all of the best things for you. But I also respect that if it's okay to settle into a situation that's maybe sub-ideal, but if it's the best you feel you can handle or have at the moment, then that's okay too. The answer is always yes, Melon. Obviously. The answer is always yes. One must always procure tea. Mm-hmm. Maybe. You do have piercing eyes. And I also think that, you know, all of the things you listed are temporary. So I choose to believe that those are not forever circumstances. So, You may seem like you don't have anything to offer at the moment, besides your piercing, wonderful eyes and amazing sense of humor. See, you do have other stuff going on. But I also respect that if you currently don't feel like those things are offerable, it doesn't mean that they will never be offerable. You know what I mean? But I am team hypnotized as well. I could see it. You could sing Bryan Adams covers too. You can be like, look into my eyes. You will see. Alright, got about 10 minutes left. I think, was this the final oranges? We did these guys, and these guys, and this guy. These guys. I think once we put the little circles in the center here, we finished another round of floof, which is excellent. We are well and truly on the path to success here. The end is near. There was a moment where I was like, damn, are we going to be working on this way up until when my parents arrive? But I think we will have time for other craft kits until then. So, on the horizon, more craft kits. Possibly watching the, watching and reacting to the race across, what is it called? Race Across the World on TV, on BBC One, where they happen to go through my Canadian hometown. We won't watch the whole series, but we could watch that episode, and then I could point out to you guys any and all landmarks that I recognize during the episode. I've never done like a react stream before. I feel like they're all the rage. I feel like all the cool kids do it. Watch along react content. We've never ventured into that. And then I still want to make Earl Grey pie, because I found a YouTube video / recipe on it, and it's still on my to bake list. So we got some cool stuff on the horizon. We just got to finish this first. We don't have to, but I would like to. Cute! But hey, this is my high shirt has been featured in many shows and movies. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that you were like near. Yeah, most famous one for me is multi-platinum. That's cool. Hey man, Only Brief is awesome. Actually, speaking of Tatiana Maslany, she was in a movie called Kaz and Dylan, and it was actually filmed in my hometown. And actually there was a shot when they're driving in a car and they drive past this hotel and restaurant that I like instantly was like, I know exactly where that is. So yeah, I have no idea where they're gonna like end up, but I just know that another person who's from my hometown, who's also living in the UK, posted it on Instagram that they clearly go through our hometown. So that would be interesting. Watch though, they'll probably not pass anything significant because there's really not a whole lot of significant things in Sudbury, to be quite honest. Yeah. It's so fun. It's so fun to see, especially too, like I'm sure, like, cause even like in Toronto and stuff like that, a lot of times the cities that they're in will be playing different places. And so Benny and June, that sounds familiar to me. No way! It was actually filmed in my grandma's old apartment. That's really cool. Yeah, especially because like a lot of times places in Toronto or like different towns and cities will be filmed to represent different places. And then you go, nuh-uh, I know you're telling me you're in New York, but that's clearly Toronto. You know what I mean? But yeah. There's actually a movie, there's a few, because I think a lot of people end up coming to Northern Ontario to film movies because they get tax breaks. You get tax breaks for filming in Canada, but I think obviously the more remote you get, the more tax breaks you get. So there was a Ryan Reynolds movie called The Captive. It was like a kind of scary movie, but that was filmed in our hometown, or in Sudbury. There was a movie with Ethan Hawke that was filmed in Sudbury, and I remember it was like really controversial because I think they interviewed him and he talked about what a shithole Sudbury was, and we were all offended, but I was also like, he's kind of right. So that was really funny. It's one of those things where it's similar. Oh, no, no problem. We're going to be reading out soon, but thank you so much for stopping by, Patats. I hope it goes well. You got this. You got coffee. You got Wendy. You got this. But yeah, it was like one of those things where it's like, okay, I'll let you, like, you can insult my family, or I can insult my family, but you can't insult my family. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it was. So I think he like slagged off our hometown and we were all in an uproar, but I was also kind of like, but he's not wrong. But only I can say it. He's not allowed. All right. Now, I think, again, aside from needing to add like little extra bits here, so this is 8, so what's number 9? This is number 9. So next week, we're going to be working on this guy here. And this is going to be more stems. So any of these guys, I think all of them actually. Oh no, not all of them. A few. But yeah, we're getting down to the point where we're like doing more stems and then we're filling in a couple flowers and then we're done. So maybe, like I said, unfortunately, next week I have an appointment next Tuesday. So I won't be streaming on Tuesday, but next Thursday, Friday, we will be back here doing this. And I think I'm going to call it, let me, I know I'm really bad at estimating things, but I'm going to estimate that maybe in 5 streams, because we have what? We have 5 bits of wool. So in 5 streams, one thing of wool per stream. Some of the parts are pretty small, so I think we can probably get more than one done, or at least finish one and start one, possibly. So I'm thinking, yeah, we can probably get this done in 5 streams. And then the week of the 16th, that's when we can do other fun, silly stuff. And make pie. Fun, silly stuff and pie. That's what's gonna happen. All right. anybody has any raid suggestions, please let me know. If not, we'll go and see who of our friends is currently streaming, and we can go and say hi to them. Ooh. And then we'll see. We shall see. Wait for this to load because Twitch hates when I open Twitch in two places. Never mind, it was a false alarm. I am back. How dare work get in the way of us hanging out, patats? For shame. Yeah. We're just looking for someone to raid. So if you have any raid suggestions, please let me know. If not, we will go see some of our friends. And then we will be back here, not next Tuesday, but next Thursday. Oh, hello. Are you coming to tell me it's time? Yeah? Who's that? Fat Rabbit. What are they doing? What's their shtick? What are they doing?
Hello.
Yeah. Playing games, being awesome. Good enough for me. Sounds good. We'll go do that. Transistor. Cool. Okay, let's... I think I already did I do the raid message? If not, I'm doing that now. Here's the raid message. Let us go and raid Mr. Fat Rabbit. Go see what cool shenanigans he is up to. You'll make a new friend. Sounds good. I can't wait. I love making new friends. There we go. Transistor. I've never heard of that game, but that's fine. I've not heard of most games. Let's go make a new friend. And I will see you guys next Thursday for more stabby stab needle felting fun goodness. And I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. Take care of yourself. Stay hydrated. Eat some food. Don't die. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!